There is a much more extensive practice of Satanism today than there was back in the 18th century. Satanist ritual abuse is a brutal form of mistreatment that involves physical, sexual, and psychological abuse. In Satanism, they believe that they will get more power from their victims as their victims experience despair, hopelessness, sheer terror. They feed off that. They want to enslave, control people, and dictate whether people should continue living or dying.
Satanic ritual abuse and Satanism, it's that love of death. And what could you get more sort of institutionalized outworking of that than abortion? How that can exist, and it can only exist because the truth is hidden.
Though many Christians seem to think that it's okay to be indifferent to these issues, whether you leave them alone or not, they're coming for the church. There's no such thing as having a peace treaty with these people. They have only one aim: destroy the church. And in 1993, an English MP who knew that I was involved in this work came to me when he was approached about the issue of Satanist ritual abuse and asked me to help him with that issue. And I've been following it closely ever since. It is a horrific issue, but like abortion, it is largely hidden from sight. And one of the verses God has given me on this issue is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11, to expose the deeds of darkness. Right. That is, you could say, half the battle is to expose these deeds of darkness, both SRA and abortion, because that's how the evil in our society flourishes. It flourishes in the darkness, it flourishes in the hiddenness. And Satanist ritual abusers have a saying among themselves that the guarantee of our tomorrow is today's perception that we do not exist. Well, I certainly do not wish to guarantee that tomorrow, and I want to expose them to the hilt.
That's amazing. And so tell us, first of all, I guess for those watching today, what is SRA?
Satanist ritual abuse is a brutal form of mistreatment that involves physical, sexual, and psychological abuse of children, youth, and vulnerable adults. It is usually done over an extended period of time, not simply as a one-off. And it's a clearer answer to people as to who is behind it, what is the ideology behind it. The ideology behind it is Satanism, because in Satanism, they believe that they will get more power from their victims as their victims experience despair, hopelessness, sheer terror. They feed off that. Demons also like to feed off that. And they feed off that, and they offer these feelings of despair to the devil as an offering. And they believe that they will get more power from it. It's all about power. It's the ruthless pursuit of power, regardless of how it harms others. That is Satanism in a nutshell. And it is about acquiring power through any means possible, whether they are fair or foul, including money, power over others, power over the life and death of others, power over their victims, control over their victims. So, for example, one of the common characteristics of SRA is mind control, attempting to program and brainwash their victims. They want to enslave people, basically. They want to enslave, control people, and dictate whether people should continue living or dying. And that is a reflection of their master, the devil's attitude towards us, because that's how much he hates us.
Right, right.
I've always maintained that if you expose SRA, it will lead you down a road that will expose the more international and national agenda of the Satanists as well. But you got to start with exposing the SRA. And what the Satanists are basically doing is, from a Christian viewpoint, it's easier to understand, although I've noticed that a lot of non-Christians also agree with this, is that they are preparing society and the world for the rise to power of the Antichrist. And I've asked an ex-Satanist high priestess who used to work with top Satanist leaders about this, and she said with absolute certainty, yes, we were preparing for the rise of the Antichrist. Fortunately for her, she left Satanism and she became a Christian, and she was sharing with me, spilling the beans basically about what the Satanists were up to.